I have in my hand today power supply that came off a server. So this is 12.2 volts, 164 amps maximum power supply. I'm gonna do a test run before I take it apart and start modifying. So just wanted to show you that it's working. So here's a light, DC, AC. Here's a button, on, off. And I connected here to the A6 and C2 pins. So basically we need to connect A6 and C2 pins together. And then I connected the voltmeter to test it out the voltage. We have 240 going right now to the power supply. And now I'm gonna turn the button on and we should see a DC. Voltage is 0. And I'm flipping this button on now. Alright, so we got DC and we got 12.2 volts now. I'm going to do some changes in the PCB board in order to make this power supply work from 3 volts to 15 volts. In my previous video I showed you guys how to install the fans to do the cooling because this thing is getting hot. Now to open this box, I'm gonna slide this top cover to the left while I'm holding with my 2 fingers this bottom piece. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but or I guess I'll hold it right here and try to push it this cover. Yep, just like that. Okay, now carefully taking this thing off. All right. Now, what we will be, or what I'll be modifying here is I'm gonna have to solder here on this control module 1 resistor, and then also 2 I'm gonna be soldering this potentiometer 5 kilo ohm, and also 2 I'm gonna be soldering another resistor to the main board, which is underneath. So I'm gonna have to take this unit completely apart in order to get access to the main board. There is a plastic Phillips screw here that I need to take off. So now I'm going to take this paper out. All right. Now I'm taking this main board off. We just gotta remove 2 screws or 2 tiny bolts. Okay. So now carefully, so there is a connection point here, and in order to pull this board away, I'm gonna have to just wiggle it back and forth and apply up pressure a little bit. And that's how this thing comes out easily. Now I'm gonna need to remove this connection. Gotta be really careful. Okay, so yeah, we will be, or I will be modifying. Everything's so tiny. I will be soldering. So there is a resistor over here, and I'll be soldering parallel another resistor over here to this board. I'm going to show you later. So now I'm gonna have to pull this board away, but first of all I'm gonna have to push those LEDs out because they are kind of holding. Yeah, I'm gonna try to show. I'm gonna have to push those LEDs in just like that and pull them out. Just like that. They marked AC, DC, so it will be no problem for me assembling back together because I will know where to put it. They marked here too. Okay, now after that I'm gonna disconnect this connector. Okay, and I think we can't pull that connector because it's soldered to the board. I think we leave it just the way it is. But we can disconnect this connection here. Okay, so now this board disconnected too. I'm gonna be unscrewing those posts. 1, 2. Then I'm going to screw this plastic post too. Okay. So this should be free on this side. So now the next thing, I'm gonna have to work on this side and disconnect everything on this side, which is, I'm gonna pull this piece up just like that to separate it. There's a sticker that I need to carefully peel it off. I'm going to be unscrewing this ground wire. Okay, get that one out of the way. 2 more screws located here that I need to unscrew also. 1 on this side, which is a ground a little bit, the ground wire on the way. After I got to remove all the screws, all the posts, so I'm going to remove this connector, and that will free up the whole board and I can easily pull the board out. Okay, I'm going to solder this 6.8 kilo ohm resistor that I have in my hand. Will be on pin 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one side is going to go on this pin, and then another side is going to go on a capacitor over here. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you the process. Okay, since I'm going to be soldering 6.8 kilo ohms resistor on this pin and if we follow this copper line, it's going on this connection over here, on this capacitor connection. So I'm gonna have to make a cut here to disconnect this, because the resistor will be soldered between those two pins. After I did this cut, so now I'm gonna try to see if I have a connection there. So I'm gonna set one lead. Everything is so tiny. And I'm gonna do another one over here. And yeah, there is no connection. So this line is cut, and now we can go to the next step and solder the resistor. Also too, what I wanted to show you guys, always when you buy a bunch of resistors, always check, make sure they rate it for what it says on the bag. Because here I have the resistors, 100 pieces that I bought it off Amazon, and they rate it for 6.8 kilo ohm, which it says here on the back. But when I start testing them, like this is a good one that I found out, and yeah, I wanted to show you. So this is 6.8, but if I'm gonna start testing a bunch of other resistors, for example, like this one, 6.7. I'm gonna start going testing other ones, 6.6, 6.7, 6.7, 6.6. So yeah, I had to go through, as you guys see, lots of missing them already, but I had to go through a lot of them before I found the pretty close one to the 6.8. So always double check with ohm meter, make sure you get the good one. Okay, so we have 6.8 kilo ohm. Now we're gonna go to the next step. I'm gonna solder two wires to the pin C2 and A6 for push button on and off. Actually, those two pins connected are together, so we can solder to each of those, or to this one or to this one. Okay, so now I have this control board, and I am going to solder 22 kilo ohm this resistor. It's 22 kilo ohm. I'm gonna be soldering one leg over here of a resistor and another one over here. The next thing what I'm going to do is I'm gonna have to solder, as I said before, this potentiometer to adjust the voltage. As you guys see, there's lots of wires, so I'm gonna try to explain you what's going on here. So this power supply is already enclosed, and I'm gonna have to do an addition box here and install the button here. There will be that button will be for DC voltage on and off, as you guys saw before. So this is the wires from all those fans each side, and this one is 120 volts. So this one is going to be energizing the power supply 120 volts. It will be energizing those fans separately from this unit. And then in addition, there is a wires coming out of here with a variable resistor, so that's going to be adjusting voltage. And just wanted to share with you what I come up here with. I'm going to pull this out. It kind of sits pretty good here. So this is actually the hole for the bolt and the wire connection that's going to go to the clamp. So this is going to be a positive. Don't remember, I think this is side positive, negative, or other way around, but anyway, so one's going to be for positive, one's going to be for negative. Same in here. That's what I come up with. Instead of breaking them or try to solder the wires, so I'm gonna, you guys see on the video how thick they are, those plates. It's a copper plates. Okay, got this one. I'm gonna show you how it's sitting there before I'm gonna solder. So they sit perfectly there, not touching. So I'm gonna install the other one now, and I'm gonna try to zoom in to show you that they are not touching anything here except the positive and negative post. And yeah, I'm gonna try to zoom in for you guys so you can see it. It's not touching those small pins too. And yeah, now hopefully my soldering gun is power enough to heat it up and solder those posts to the copper plates. I want to show you guys what I come up here with. So those, the copper post that, as you guys see on the video, I try to solder them, but my soldering gun wasn't strong enough. So what I come up with, using a torch. So what I did, I heated up them with a torch, and then finally I got my solder sticking to those posts. So this is a new fresh one, and that's my, I would call bad soldering, because again, my soldering gun wasn't strong enough and I couldn't make that stick. So that's the job that I did. But yeah, now I've got this thing all lubed up in the solder, and yeah, I'm just gonna heat it up with a torch, and then I'll use the pliers and feed to the connector there, and hopefully that will melt the existing solder and stick together. So let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, looks like the solder is melted already. So now I'm gonna try to feed that over here. Oh, it's hot. There you go. It melted all the soldering, and I think we got a pretty good joint over there. So now we're just gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna work on another one. So I'm gonna show you this one. It's basically sitting there and it's not secure because, again, as you guys see, my soldering gun wasn't strong enough, and I would call that not a good job. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this one, and how I'm gonna lube it up this one, and basically we're gonna repeat the process with this one. What we did on this one, we're gonna repeat with this one. So, but again, I'm gonna let it cool down. So make sure I won't melt this whole connector, and then I'll go with this one. computer process. There you go. And we're gonna let it melt the soldering. Okay guys, I wanna share with you my final result. So this cord, it's a 12 volts. This is 120. It's a 12 volt power supply that will be energizing those fans. So it's 12 volts right here. This is 240, which is connected to the main connector. And now I want to show you what's going on here. So as you guys see, I already soldered those posts, and all this just a temporary to show you. So again, I'm gonna have to run in addition 12 volts power supply to keep 12 volt supplying always to those fans. And then those two port connectors post, that's gonna be a variable speed voltage here, which is I'm gonna be adjusting here with a potentiometer. So I'm gonna turn that on now. Okay. The amp meter is not working yet because I'm gonna have to install somehow somewhere over here this piece in order to measure the amperage. And now I want to show you that the voltage is changing. So I can go up to, I cut it out on I think 15.7 just to be safe, because the capacitor is max for only 16 volts, so I don't want to blow my capacitors. So yeah, 15.7, that's a cutout, that's a max. This one shows 15.6, I guess this one's a little bit not accurate. Well, I guess, yeah, it's not 15.7, so yeah, it's showing 15.6. So, yeah, everything working. As you guys see, I can adjust voltage. Up to, yeah, this one is off because this meter works only when we supply in 5 volts. So I'm gonna have to take, I don't remember, yellow or orange, yellow or red to 12 volts. So we can see when we drop below 5 volts, it's still energized and we can still see the low voltage in here too. So, but for now, yeah, we got 3 volts, 5 volts. Yeah, now this one kicks in since it's 5 volts. But as soon as I drop below 5 volts, I think it's 3 volts, yep, it's dropping. So yeah, thing is working, and I've got those clamps. And yeah, I got those heavy duty positive and negative posts that I'm gonna actually start disconnecting everything to show you guys. So yeah, those posts that I showed you before are ready to be having a wire connected and use those clamps. And again, for amp meter, I'm gonna have to go over that post. I'm gonna have to do something, and then I can connect this one on the back. There's a connector here to read the amperage too, but also to, so this wire, this is 120 volts right here on this wire, this one. And if I'm gonna be on the ground, and this one, so it's going to be 120 volts. So reason I did that, because that power supply I'm gonna energize with this wire, because that's a 120 power supply, to keep those fans 12 volt supplying always, and plus to keep 12 volts for this, so when we go below 3 volt it will still work and show the voltage here, because otherwise, as you guys saw in the video, as soon as I drop below 5 or 4 volts it shuts off. So yeah, that's my power supplies that will have lots of amps. Variable power supply that will have lots of amps, and now I can use this power supply for my BMW to hold my BMW.